Hey guys, this is Illusion Podfic, and today we're going to be reading Family Day by Night Sky Gazing. The summary is, the Justice League is planning their annual Family Day. Nightwing's smile widens. Batman can see the wickedness leaking into the smile. Does everyone usually go? Diana nods. Typically yes. Almost every leaguer will be there. It goes throughout the day and we end up at shifts there and away, so that we are still patrolling, but ensuring we can still all interact. Batman is the only one who usually never made an appearance. Turning to look at Batman, Nightwing leans forward to get a better view of the man. Really? You don't say. Nightwing smiles sweetly. And why is that, Batman? Batman glares at Nightwing. The two stare at each other for several tense seconds. Nightwing is holding back a smirk. Don't you have a family you'd like everyone to meet? Superman puts up a hand and starts to cut off Nightwing. Now, Nightwing. Wouldn't they like to meet the League? Nightwing questions, cutting off Superman. No, Batman deadpans, pushing back from the table. Batman stands and turns away. You sure about that? Nightwing practically taunts. Alright guys, without further ado, let's hop right into chapter 1. It had been almost 6 months since Nightwing joined the Justice League. He fit into his piece of the puzzle perfectly. Everyone got along with the guy. Barry said he had met him a few times before through his nephew. Cyborg had known Nightwing for years through the Teen Titans. Superman acted almost parental towards the young hero. Even heroes who had just met Nightwing couldn't find anything wrong with him. Hal and Oliver love that he's willing to join in the pranks. He is often found just lounging in the common room chatting with Dinah. He plays video games with Captain Marvel and Aquaman. The only person who ever seemed to have any type of negative energy towards Nightwing is Batman. But that's Batman, so it hardly counts. Batman tolerates everyone in the Justice League at best. He still doesn't tolerate Hal very often, defaulting to John for Green Lantern needs. No one ever puts any thought into Batman's avoidance of the newest hero. Trying to figure out tall, dark, and brooding logic would just make anyone want to smack their head into the table. The two heroes tolerate each other and can work together when necessary. Why worry about something that doesn't need to be addressed? Batman starts to close out of the files on his tablet at the end of the meeting. He covered all the key details he needed to, mainly reminding everyone of the new training rhetoric that they were going to start implementing next week. It will focus on keeping property damage to a minimum. Truthfully, the resume is Nightwing's that he has used with the previous Titans, though Cyborg would be the only one to know that. Batman sets down the tablet and waits for Diana to finish her announcements. Diana has been focusing on team bonding and camaraderie lately. Without her, the Justice League would never have worked so smoothly. Diana is able to get every pig-headed hero to work together and relax around one another. She has at least one activity planned a month, usually a game night and a team dinner. It's getting close to the end of May. As all of you that have been here for a while know, Diana begins speaking clearly from her chair, not needing to raise her voice or her body to have every member's attention. It is time for our annual family gathering. Squeezing his tablet, Batman passed a glance over to Nightwing, who sat up a little straighter. Nightwing leans forward in excitement. You guys have a family day? Nightwing asks, a smile plastered on his face. Diana looks over to Nightwing and smiles. That's right. We have one every year. We've had one for 5 years now. This will be our 6th. It's a day for us to meet each other's loved ones. There is usually food and games. Last year there was a kickball tournament. This year I'm planning on having a volleyball match. Tilting his head slightly at the side, Nightwing asks, So, who all is invited? Typically it is family members. Flash usually brings his wife, kids, and nephew. I always bring my sister. Some of us bring their protégés or close friends. It's those in your life who you trust with everything. We'll trust them too. Nightwing's smile widens. Batman can see the wickedness leaking into the smile. Does everyone usually go? Diana nods. Typically yes. Almost every leaguer will be there. It goes throughout the day, and we end up at shifts there and away, so that we are all still patrolling, but ensuring that we can all interact. Batman is the only one who has never made an appearance. Turning to look at Batman, Nightwing leans forward to get a better view of the man. Really? You don't say. Nightwing smiles sweetly. And why is that, Batman? Batman glares at Nightwing. The two stare at each other for several tense seconds. Nightwing is holding back a smirk. Don't you have a family you'd like to meet everyone? Superman puts up a hand and starts to cut off Nightwing. Now, Nightwing. Wouldn't they like to meet the League? Nightwing questions, cutting off Superman. No. Batman deadpans, pushing back from the table. Batman stands and turns away. You sure about that? Nightwing practically taunts. Batman freezes and looks over his shoulder at Nightwing, subtly challenging the younger man. Batman notices a subtle movement and his eyes flicker to a phone in Nightwing's hand. Batman turns to Nightwing and takes a step forward. Nightwing? Jumping out of his chair, Nightwing flips backwards to be positioned behind the chair. The rest of the Lakers watch the two in his standoff. Wally will be there. Barry suddenly cuts in. The Flash doesn't bother looking up like the rest of the league and watch the two heroes have a power of wills. Barry keeps scrolling through his phone. You can just go and hang out with Wally. For a moment, Bruce thinks he might actually begin to like Barry. You don't need the others there. Others? Hal asks. Never mind. Barry's an idiot, and Bruce is going to make sure he knows it. Barry looks up from his phone and looks at Hal, realization dawning on his face as Barry takes in the rest of the league sitting around him, not just the Bafamily. The old Titans? Oliver raises an eyebrow at Barry. You're a horrible liar. Suddenly, a batarang flies across the air and hits Nightwing's phone out of his hand. Several leaguers gasp. Nightwing gapes at his phone as it flies behind him, smashing into the ground. He turns and points an accusing finger at Batman. You're buying me a new phone. You thought I was distracted by Barry, Batman retorts. You were, Nightwing smirks. No, Batman breathes, horror sinking into his bones. Nightwing smiles widely. Yes? You're unleashing a monster that I've been trying to keep contained for years. Nightwing rolls his eyes. You're acting like I'd let Goliath go to the gathering. You had to have known that this would have happened once I joined the League. Who did you message? Batman demands, stalking forward to Nightwing. The rest of the Leaguers stand, most trying to decipher what's going on. Batman is hoping that Damian got the text. At least he won't immediately see it and spread it to the rest of his family. Double R, Nightwing grins. Nightwing steps up, closing the space between him and Batman. You've lost, old man. No, I haven't. Batman takes a step back. His hand slides subtly to his batarangs. It's the 3rd Thursday of May. Fuck! Nightwing yells, darting forward. He reaches out for Batman, only for his arm to be blocked. The family has a sporadic-seeming schedule where they make sure Tim crashes and gets some sleep, which means Tim is on his mandated nap time, aka Alfred put sleeping medicine in his tea, meaning he won't see the text to spread to the rest of the family. Batman throws a batarang at Nightwing, who flips out of the way. Should we step in? Arthur asks, looking around to the other Leaguers. No. Barry and Clark answer at the same time. Barry is still sitting in the chair, scrolling through his phone again. Clark is watching the fight intently, but sits back on his own chair. The Leaguers look at Batman and Nightwing, then at each other before they too, warily, sit back into their chairs. Nightwing flips onto the table, startling Hal. Fucking shit! I have the high ground, Nightwing bellows. He towers over Batman. Batman pinches the bridge of his nose. Every time you get into a Star Wars fixation, you do this. You do not have the high ground. Nightwing does a flourish with his hands, and a phone is suddenly in it. A quiet, hushed voice is heard. Did you know he could do magic? Batman's hand flies to his side, feeling in his pockets. Nightwing flips over the table, leaving the large space between him and Batman. He starts typing into the phone. You know, you should really readjust where you have everything in your pockets. Your phone has been in the same pocket for 15 years. Ducking behind a chair, dodging Batman, Nightwing continues. I mean, I know none of the others have taken the time to actually figure out your utility belt arrangement, but for sure Harley has. You need to change it. Jumping behind Barry's chair, Nightwing spins Barry and pushes him out of the chair. Fight Barry for a second, while I finish this up. Nope. Barry puts his hands up, looking at the glaring Batman. His face pulls down into a frown. Nightwing, I'm not fighting Batman. Baby, Nightwing hisses, coming up from behind the chair. This is why Iris is my favorite. Sighing, Nightwing throws the phone back to Batman, who catches it easily. There. Happy? Nightwing crosses his arm and pouts. Batman taps his phone a few times. You texted Oracle? Nightwing drops his arms and smiles. Yeah, I texted Oracle. He shrugs. I'd say I'm sorry, B, but I'm not. We all used to understand why you kept us away from the League, but we all have our own teams now. We don't need protection from the League. Solemnly, Nightwing walks over to Batman. Everyone holds their breath, waiting. Nightwing puts his hand on Batman's shoulder, and that is it. This is the moment Batman is going to cut off his arm. You're protecting something that doesn't need it. Let us be a part of your life. Batman drops his hand with the phone, and his other hand reaches out to grab Nightwing's arm. Batman and Nightwing share a look. Nightwing smiles shyly. Batman sighs, and Nightwing drops his arm. Fine. Batman turns and looks at the League. All of the heroes are staring at Nightwing and Batman. Most of them have a look of sheer confusion at the two heroes, who just had the strangest fight with zero context or warning. Batman tiredly glances at Diana. My family and I will be at this year's gathering. Nightwing pumps his hand in the air. Yes! Wonderful, Diana grins. I'll put you down for 10, right? Nightwing nods excitedly from behind Batman. Spooky has kids? Batman has a family of 10 people? Why does Nightwing know any of this, or care? Oh, that one I'll answer, Nightwing says gladly, as Batman starts to walk out of the room. Nightwing gives a bow with a flourish. I'm Batman's oldest son. Nightwing, let's go, Batman demands from the doorway. Nightwing rolls his eyes and stage whispers. He's a softie. Batman grunts. Practically skipping over, Nightwing joins Batman as he starts to walk away. You're buying me a new phone, though. Batman grunts again. Don't be like that. You're the one who broke it. Nightwing grumbles as the door closes behind the pair. What the actual fuck? Alright guys, and that is the end of chapter 1 of Family Day by Night Sky Gazing. I hope you guys liked it, and I'll see you next chapter.